Okay, this is now after the hearing at the Staten Island Courthouse. It was a hearing about class action, about certifying the DiCapua case as a class action case. And the attorneys gave oral arguments before Judge Porzio. And now all of these people who were in the courtroom and also standing out in the hallway because there was not enough room for everyone to go into the courtroom. All of the people have come out now after the hearings and are gathered outside the courthouse.
So what did they do?
It was two of them. I don't know if they. This is like old dead Calvin, conservative.
Where did you stay? No, I mean, in what part?
You know, I actually saw Milo when I was at the men's conference. I was sitting in the audience, and then
Danny was the best. Oh, Danny. Oh, yeah. That was my man. Danny was my man.
Thank you.
I'm the oldest. I'm on my side. I knew like Danny, Palucci, when he was they television there. She was actually don't be a Cadillac. Here's the or the scope. Right. And you know what it is? Reveal who they are. And that's the First Amendment.
Okay, so outside of the courthouse right now, waiting for the attorney for the plaintiffs in the DiCapua case to come out of the courthouse, the Staten Island courthouse, after the hearing. And I believe she's going to say a few words about what happened during the hearing. Just to tell you a little bit about this crowd, a lot of these people are New York City workers who were fired or otherwise adversely affected by New York City's COVID-19 vaccine mandates. And some of them are people who would be part of a class action if this case does become a class action lawsuit. They would be included in that. Those are DOE employees, former Department of Education employees who applied for a religious accommodation that would have exempted them from having to follow the city's vaccine mandate and were denied their request and appealed that denial and were once again denied. Okay, we have the attorney Sujata Gibson.
Give us a synopsis.
I was talking too fast, but other than that.
It's okay.
So listen, some of you were in the courtroom, many couldn't be in there because there were too many of us here to fit. Good. I know, that's a good thing. So the court held oral arguments today. I'll talk about that a little bit. The upshot is the court wants to, think about this issue. They've only had a couple of days with the papers. He's going to make a decision and read it in the record on September 6th. So we have to come back on September 6th at 3:30, and he will read a decision. He will have a decision both for class certification and for Article 78 relief on September 6th, the day before school starts. So it is frustrating. It is so frustrating to keep on having to wait, but I do appreciate that the court wants to get this right, that he wants to read the papers carefully. He wants to read all of the cases. This case will be huge. If we are certified as a class action, this is huge.
Say your prayers.
So say your prayers between now and September 6th. You know, pray that justice will prevail, because you all deserve justice. So in the oral arguments, you know, the court seemed, you know, I don't want to make predictions, but he has to thoroughly vet all of the arguments. It's very normal for him to ask a lot of questions, play devil's advocate, you know, tell you all the reasons you might be wrong. But the law is very clearly on our side here. The court seemed only focused actually on a very small percentage of the cases which could be severed of people who didn't apply for religious accommodation originally. Well, 7,000 people did. So, you know, I'd say it seemed like everyone was pretty convinced and conceded that those 7,000 people ought to get relief. And I think the law is very clear that the couple of hundred that applied after the Second Circuit said these standards are unconstitutional deserve relief too. Because there's an exception written right into the case they cited, saying if it's unconstitutional or futile, you don't need to exhaust. So, you know, we'll pray that all that comes across. I think today was a good day. It was important that all of you were here. The court really made efforts to get as many of you into the courtroom as possible. Yes. Obviously, the judge is cognizant of all you have been through and your suffering. And I appreciate you so much. So thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, one of the things that I want to say is that on September 6th, I'm going to be back here at 3:30, but there is and I hope you're all going to be back, but there is a chance, the Judge Porzio said they're going to try to have a virtual component, which his courtroom never has. He's going to attempt to have another courtroom that is hooked up virtually so that it's something that can reach more people. So please
I gotta
do
say
keep that
one
in
thing
mind.
about that though. That's going to be in an overflow room here, so you still have to come. Hopefully you can still come. Anyone who can, please come. Bring someone with you next time. You being here matters.
Yeah, it makes the difference. It entirely makes the difference. You know, as Judge Porzio was trying to find seats for people, I was just about 10 feet away from him, and you could hear him saying to the court officers, they have a right to be here. They have a right to be in this courtroom. And he fought to get like another 30 people into the court. So thank you very much to Judge Porzio. We do greatly appreciate that. One other thing I want to say on behalf specifically of Teachers for Choice, I just ran into some people that asked me some election questions, and one of the things that was brought up was someone said, hey, I'm going to South Carolina. That's a big deal. For you to know, in elections, the primary that's coming up, New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, Michigan, Nevada. There's your top 5. That's where we need people to be aware that there's a primary, that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who supports medical freedom, is running. So keep that in mind. I don't know where the woman is who said she's going to South Carolina. Oh, there we go. Here you go. Take these flyers and bring them down. So it's important that everybody knows about this. It's important everybody knows Bobby Kennedy's running, but those states are the first 5 states where all the momentum stuff starts. New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, Michigan, and Nevada. But of course, hand them out to your friends, to everybody you know, because they need to know what's going on here.
I have one more thing. Could
Please
all
do.
of the named petitioners come on up here, because they also really deserve some thanks. They have been in the trenches, fighting this out, showing up at these courthouses, putting their names out there in public records, standing strong, and they deserve some love. So come on up here. Some already had to leave, but come on up here.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
And I have one more thing to say, and then I promise we can disperse. that is this. I teach part-time at Cornell Law School, and one of the things I teach is movement law. And there's been a lot of scholarship on movements. And this scholarship shows, empirically, after looking at all the data, that if just 3.5% of people do not comply, tyranny, you almost certainly will not be successful.
Amazing.
You are that 3.5%. And to have all of these things happen to you when you've been eating a jar of mayonnaise and a loaf of bread for you and your family for a week, when you've been evicted from your homes, when you've had to move out of state, when you've had to disrupt your lives, you've gone hungry, you haven't had health care. You have made a difference, and we owe all of our gratitude to you, so thank you.
Yes. If it wasn't for all of you guys, it would still be all Muslims to this day. So thank you. Oh, one really last thing. Last thing. Children's Health Defense New York has a fundraiser event that's happening coming up, a homeschooling education event. Talk about that just real quickly.
August 26th, we're having a fundraiser for Children's Health Defense New York. We need your support in order for us to do the job that we're doing, the amazing job that we're doing, fighting these bills. We need everybody's support. So if you can come support August 26th, if you know anybody who wants information on homeschooling their children, because we need to pull these children out of the system. You know why? I don't have to tell you guys why, right? Because they're forcing things onto these children, whether it's the education, the stuff that they're trying to teach your children for one, and also trying to inject them with all sorts of stuff. So if you want to pull your kid out of that system, come and learn the 101 of homeschooling. And even if you don't want to learn about homeschooling, please come and support us by donating to our cause. We really appreciate every donation, and we need your support.
Yeah, within the next day or two at Teachers for Choice, all the information for the CHD New York event will be here. So if you have this flyer, just check out the website and you'll know about it. I'm going to be speaking at it. We're going to have other educators talking about it.
So
Doesn't matter if you homeschool or not. It's going to be a great event. Definitely should
Children's
come.
Health Defense New York, if you go to the Instagrams, I'll be updating you guys and get all of it. What's up?
Sorry. That's okay.
Get the school supplies together for the homeschooling?
That's a good idea.
Michael, can you get back in there so I can get a picture?
I can't really hear.
¿Tres hermanas? Así que pregunta yo, ¿dónde está la hermana? Que no me acuerdo cuál es.
Tú le informaste ahora, ella
Sí, le mandé.
ella me está mandando. Él le va a mandar los
Yo le
videos.
voy a mandar los videos, por eso lo grabé para enviar para mandárselo.
Oh, okay.
Sí, no pudo venir.
All right.
Yeah, I want to get in that picture.
Come on in.
All right.
Come on in.
Do it. All right, I got a picture of you. 1, 2,
Yo
3.
también me voy, vámonos nosotros. Vámonos nosotros también.
All right.
You're going to interview Sujata? Do you have any interviews of people talking about Bobby?
I have. I want to get some more.
So you're getting emotional.
It's good seeing you.
It's nice to meet you. It's not raining this time. Leaving? Oh.
Medicare Advantage.
An asymmetric one, like that on the steel, but it's okay. They didn't go far enough. No, I just shared with her. I went outside. I just went outside. You want to send I just ate. I went outside the box the other day.